Ellie Assembly. Step up and see flash, it's the ToyLeet crew. We're the kings of the game, yeah, the chosen few. From the shadows we rise with the rarest finds. Collect them, respect them, we're one of a kind. ToyLeet, ready in the streets, elite with the feats in this collectible feast. ToyLeet, down in the street, with the heart of the beat, where our play makes me. Check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends, with every drop. Taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the echoes play. ToyLeet's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always thriving. In our realm we're always driving. ToyLeet, bring in the street, the live ToyLeet. Setting the pace. With a snap of the case and a click of the lock. ToyLeet's on top and we're ready to rock. Collecting more than just toys. We're up. We're up. We're up. ToyLeet, never the street, when the heart of the beat, where all blame makes me. We're the tree, we're the ToyLeet, what's the throne? Cause in this zone, we never admit defeat. Come for the thrill, stay for the chase. ToyLeet's in the place, set in the pace.
What's good, my dude?
Where are you, brother?
I just landed. They just put me back on Earth. It was weird, man. I know what happens in about 20 years, but I can't tell anybody. I'm sworn to secrecy, and I know how we got here today.
Are you having a hard time sitting down?
No, man. That's like it's a weird thing, man. Like that's not even a thing. Like when they do that, like it's completely painless. It's completely painless. Like that's not even like a thing. Yeah, it's crazy. You know,
that's good to know, man. I was worried about you getting violated, so I'm glad that
no.
I'm glad that my phone call worked and they returned you back home.
Yes.
I'm kind of worried about you.
They actually said they don't need to deal with me ever again. And if the rest of our population is anything like me, they're better
They'll never
off.
come back.
Yeah.
Good.
So
I'm glad you scared them away.
You know, thank you. Sorry, thanks for the flexibility there, man. Today's Wednesday. It's same time. It's a different time. Same crime. You guys got to put up with a ToyLeet Takeover. It's not on a Tuesday night. It's a special Wednesday show. You've got me, Mr. Plastic Daddy, my buddy, Ed Axion Figs. And we're something together.
I'm still stuck on Plastic Daddy.
Oh, Plastic Daddy? There's nothing like a Plastic Daddy party, man. Yeah, there's nothing like a plastic. That's why these guys sent me back. They were like, nah, you do not need to be here. You can go live on that weird planet that you come from. So absolutely.
Good for them. They don't need you.
Good deal. So, we are the ToyLeet.
Yes, we are.
Every week we get together and we chat plastic, the plastic passion. We like to talk about what we got. We like to talk about what we want. We like to talk toys and toy adjacent, could be the new Marvel movie or some other television show, related to some, mythic or legendary fantasy lore. Could be the upcoming Gladiator 2 movie, could be anything, right? We could chat about those things. What we always do is we touch on a few key concepts. We love to talk about independent toys. There are plenty of other guys on other channels here on YouTube, all over the interwebs, that you can go ahead and find out more about the mainstream, your Hasbros, the unfortunate layoffs that maybe were heard of today.
Oh, yes.
You can hear about Mattel and what they're doing, and you can hear about other mainstream toy lines like Super 7, or as I like to refer to it as dumpster fodder. You can also find out other things, but there's other guys out there like our buddies over there at Punk with Toys, Unboxing Art, and other folks across the YouTube streams and the channels. But we focus on the independent toys. That's what we do every Tuesday night normally. And don't get me wrong, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. It was like Friday when I came back here, when they let me off of their ship. It's just weird time, space, travel thing that happens. You don't want to know about it. It's just it's not cool. And I can't tell you anyways.
That alien hangover, I understand, man.
Yeah. So, we'll do that. We do a shout out from the Crick every week. We love to champion cool people doing cool things in the community. And then we also like to talk politics and, all that. No, we don't do that here. That's not the place. You're in the wrong channel if you're looking for that. And we like to talk, shout out from the Crick, again, champion people. We talk about something like, we talk about toilets for some reason.
Yes.
Something around the porcelain, gods.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some talk about that tonight, right?
Oh, yeah. We got a good toilet episode this evening.
That's good. And then we like to talk about independent toy news. We got some of that tonight. Got a little new special little intro. I'm doing some tweaking with it, but be curious if some fans in the chat recognize the sound and the voice of our news intro. I'm looking forward to playing that a little bit later. And then we dive into the topic at hand. The main topic is this week. We'll talk about more, but it's the evolution of boxes, things that your toys come in, the plastic comes in, fun things like that. But
that, you mean that waste of garbage that's around your figures when it arrives?
You wait a second. I got a whole box. Can I get? Oh, there it is.
There it is, man.
I got a whole. I scrap box. That's what I call it. I call it scrap boxing. So it's what I do. It's scrap boxing. You guys should see it. It'll be cool. I think you guys will like some of the stuff that I put together with it. It's cool stuff. We'll talk about that more in the main topic, though.
Travis, this is the first inbox collector.
But I think I just came up with a new term, like on the fly in the moment.
Yeah,
I'm a scrap boxer.
You're a scrap boxer,
and it's we can go scrap boxing on the weekend instead of scrap booking. That's
some of those toys. The boxes cost just as much as some of the figures do.
But we'll talk about that, right?
That's right.
That said, how's your couple weeks been now, Ed?
I've been busier than one arm man trying to hang drywall, man. It's crazy.
You haven't figured out how to do that yet?
Well,
use the force.
Luckily, I have a third leg, so we're good.
Oh, that's the wrong channel, guys. Wrong channel. Awesome. Good deal.
So, how about you? I know you've been slam busy with everything else going on in life, and
we got work going, man. We got work going like crazy. Can't get enough people to do it. Got a great team behind me on my 9-to-5. Love working with them. Maybe one of the best teams I've worked with in my 20 years of IT consulting. Great team, but busy as all hell.
Yeah, we got a good team at my work too, and there's just not enough time in the day to get everything done that needs to be done. So even with a great team, everybody's done at the end of the day. We're all just like, holy shit, this day was over forever.
Yep. Yeah, that's very much so it is. We also got my daughter's in cheerleading, so we got a lot of cheer comps going on recently. Schools in session, so the kids are bouncing around there. We got Halloween party coming up this weekend. I know you got.
I was just going to ask you what's Son of Wonder going as this year for Halloween?
Son of Wonder is going to be a police officer.
Oh shit!
City police officer. It's what he wants to be when he grows up, and that's what he picked for Halloween. And he's lucky. He's got a really cool big brother, whose big brother and his girlfriend have decided they're going to dress up as criminals to give him someone to chase around at the Halloween party.
That's awesome.
So yeah. My wife is going to be a sexy, hot nurse, and I'm going to be a deranged old man in a nightgown with my butt.
So you're playing yourself just as you're in your bedroom clothes.
I'm actually playing the character I arrived at this morning when they dropped me off, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So is your oldest son and his girlfriend wearing like the orange jumpsuits or the the old-fashioned like black and white striped ones, or don't you know?
Yeah, I haven't seen. I don't know. I know he went
Yeah.
to the. I know he went to the Spirits of Halloween stores today and hit that up. I don't know. I haven't seen. We'll see. We do a big Halloween shindig at the house every year, and we do a costume contest, give away prizes. There's food and just a bunch of games and things like that. So,
Cool.
Looking forward to that. Absolutely.
Well, you want to hit the chat real quick, and then we can drive through.
Yeah, man.
Forward.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Absolutely.
So
we can go back in time.
First in the show tonight is K-Roll. She beat all y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all a bunch of slackers. K-Roll is first. She wins the prize. And, of course, we're ToyTube official because we got Nolan in the house. What's up, Nolan?
Thank you, sir.
And Endless Fables is here. Endless Fables is a huge man after your own heart. He is a diehard AWOC fan, as you can see by his picture there.
He is an amazing photographer.
Oh, yeah.
I see him post stuff online all the time.
And I think he just joined up for Toyvember last week. So I
was going to say, I haven't checked the list in the last couple days, but if he has done that, I thank him so much, and was actually going to reach. There's a bunch of photographers that I'm familiar with that I'm actually going to be reaching out to here over the course of the next week. I've talked to some folks. I really want to get involvement from a larger audience because I want to get eyes on things, and I want to make this something everyone becomes a part of. So Endless, thank you for joining in. Look forward to seeing what you do as a peer in the AWOC community.
And of course, we have the Ozman himself, Ostradamus Toys in the house.
Mr. 500.
Yeah. Matthew Matson, or as you like to call him, Matt Madison, is here with us.
Eminem.
Yep. Or Eminem. Yep. He's got his Egyptian gods arriving Friday. That's sweet. And
I didn't get packed up in a box and sent your way yet, Matthew. I don't know how that's even happening.
And the Emerald Knight, John, is here with us. What's up, John? Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. We got a few more. We got this guy here.
Comes the money.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Mr. 5K.
Yeah, Mr. 5.6K. Don't get it wrong.
Oh, man. Sorry. I didn't know we had to get that technical.
We had to get that technical. I called him Mr. 5K the other day, and he told me it was 5.6. So obviously, he's counting every single one. It's really 5.6.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him a shirt that says Mr. 5, and it's gonna have the 5 crossed out, and that's gonna have the 6 crossed out. And I'll wait till he gets to 10, and I'll just have it keep crossing the numbers out. So just
what we should do is get him one of those shirts that has like the little patch of dry erase on it, so you could just have like Mr. and then a K, and then he could just write in whenever he changes thousands. Right? He could just put 5.
I mean, it shouldn't be that expensive. What is toddler size?
Right. I mean, yeah, it's definitely probably get it at Kid Connection or something.
That's probably a thing.
Hey, a Roll Keeper is here with us. Hello. It's Tuesday, not Tuesday, is it? Yes, it's not Tuesday, Roll Keeper. We threw you for a loop. And we got Kenzo's Connections in the house with us. What's up, Kenny? And Ed beat me to it. I was going to ask what I win. You get a free evening on Thursday with a friend with Punk. That's what your prize is. So
that's awesome.
Or else you can redeem it for if you don't want to do that, you can spend the weekend in jail with the aliens. Those are your 3 choices. Punk on a Thursday, prison, or a weekend with the aliens. I mean, I'd take the weekend with the aliens if it was me, but
oh yeah, for sure.
And that's it for the chat, my man.
Good deal. I got some stuff this week.
Did you get some stuff this week? What did you get this week?
I did. I got this very handy Arctic Air band.
Make you big.
It's to wear around your neck when you're warm. No. That wasn't it. I did get a Plunderlong.
Oh, nice.
So I did get him. Comes a little bit of a TNT here.
Oh, that's the cool guy. He's got the
8-ball helmet on.
Yeah, the 8-ball helmet. Yeah.
Very cool figure.
Yeah.
I kind of like these ones better than the Plunderlings. I just like the body mold. It's a slender, taller version.
Yep.
I also got.
Did you pick him up in the special sale on that other place?
I did.
Oh yeah, that one was cool. I wanted to get that one, but
I got this one. Comes with the sword. I will tell folks to be extremely careful with the little banjo thing. I did break it because I thought it was bent in like accidentally. I thought it was warped. So then I tried to bend it back and I did snap it. But as you can see, Mr. Handyman with a glue gun was able to repair it. Excellent. And I also did get this one. Boom, boom, boom. The cursed idol.
You got the cursed idol one. Nice.
Yes. So one of our wonderful friends over at, and I'm just going to give him a little shout out here. One of the wonderful friends over at D Blake Makers.
Oh yeah.
Check it out. There's a QR code on there. Stop, pause the video, scan the QR code, or go check him out. D Blake Makers was down at New York City Comic Con over the weekend, and he posted, "Oh man, they got the golden, they got the cursed idols." So like he posted that in like one of the Plunderling chats, and I was like, "Oh hell!" I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "Dude, if you can pick that up for me, I would greatly appreciate it." Because while I do have the token you can turn in, because I bought it off like eBay a while back because I wanted the token for the Plunderlings. I thought it looked cool. I guess you can turn those in as a Kickstarter, and they'll give you get one of these for free.
Yes.
If you go to like the select stores.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
And you can also get your coin back if you ask.
Yeah, I want the coin. But I also don't live near any of the stores. And from what I was seeing online, you had to do something, and it seemed like you had to like prove that you were a Kickstarter backer. And I was like, well, I got the coin, but I don't know that I can prove that I was a Kickstarter backer, because I wasn't. I didn't know about it back then. I surely would have been had I known. So I didn't really want to lose my coin, which I did purchase off eBay at one point. So luckily DB was able to snag one of these for me, and he mailed it out to me, I think on Sunday or Monday, and it arrived today.
Wow.
So big shout out to DB for getting me that. Awesome dude. Met him at ZoloCon in person. Got some of his stuff over the summer. You know, one of the signs on my shelf up there is a wrestling one that he did. Does great work. Go check out what he does. He does some really cool artwork to kind of make your shelf a little bit more, or as he refers to it, treat your shelf. So very good thing to go when displaying figures on stands. Some cool stuff in front of it. But yeah, that's what I got, man. I don't think I got anything else. Yeah, I think that. I just gotta look around because I'm like, I know I've ordered. I guess did I mention that I got the Simpsons figures? I know I mentioned it too.
No, I don't think you brought that up. No, maybe you did bring that up last Tuesday. I think you brought that up last Tuesday.
I did get. No, you know what else? I bring it up on the Hella show.
Oh yeah, that's what.
On Sunday night, I was over with those guys. It was a ToyLeet Takeover on Sunday. So was over there. You even kicked me out of the show, and then
yes, I did.
Somehow your buddies abducted me, yesterday. So
don't ever call me the Genetti motherfucker.
Yeah, I realize that. I realize that. It's okay, Genetti. But yeah, so I did get the I don't have them in front of me. My son is confiscating because they were really for him, but he got the Batman Walmart exclusive.
He'll be at his house, for the next 2 hours. I'll keep him here for sure. Go ahead and just pick him back up because he's kind of being a tool again. Thanks. All right, see you in a minute. Hey, where'd you go? I wasn't talking to anybody. Don't worry.
I was trying to hide. Yeah, no. So, we did get the Batman, the Bartman figure, Walmart exclusive, and we picked up the Homer with the donut pack with him. So we did get those, which they're cool. My son picks them up. He's like, Dad, these look cool. I love The Simpsons. And I'm like, what, you've watched The Simpsons like 4 times, kid? It's like, do you really love The Simpsons, or are you just giving me a hard time? So we ended up snagging a couple of those, and I may have recently procured an order with our buddies over at Hello Toys for a Radioactive Man.
Oh,
so there's that.
Too. Yeah.
But that's it, man. What did you get, dude? What did you get?
You know what I got, man? I got.
Does it burn when you pee? It's something else. Okay.
Force. Operation Monster Force. From Fresh.
I'm gonna throw you up on the big screen, brother.
Go for it, man. So
Yeah, so now that he's gone, he is the Genetti, and I just want everybody to know that. No.
Just remember, paybacks are really, really, can make things really hard in your life. So I got Operation Monster Force in, man. These figures are awesome. I have no problem that I had to wait a year to get these guys in because they're just great figures. Paintwork is awesome. I got Dracula. So I have 2 shipments coming because the way I pre-ordered, I didn't realize they were on 2 separate orders, the first ones. I got
you got that one.
I got the Forgotten King. The staff head on that thing is just amazing. The detail, head detail is amazing. So I got
it's always good when you get some good head detail.
Yeah. I got the Dracula, the Forgotten King. This is the
that's Delta like an army builder, right?
Yeah, Delta Red, Nocturnal. They got such long titles, I don't remember what the hell they're called altogether yet. This one is Delta Red Nocturnal Operations Trooper. That's what he's called. But yeah, he's one of the army builders. They're really cool because you could get like 4, maybe 5 of these guys, and you would never have the same figure if you put all the different heads and different.
Oh, really?
Different setups on them and everything. I mean, they come with so much different stuff. Those are the 3 I have open so far, and then I got
3.
Yep, those are the 3 I have open so far.
Well, let's see the packaging, dude.
This talk about packaging. What a good night for packaging. This packaging is excellent. I mean, it's got the front flat cover. Inside, you can see everything you get with the figure. There is a baggie that's usually stuffed in the back with the plastic that comes with the stand and some of the smaller accessories because just
save your packaging for me, please.
I'm saving all this packaging. It comes with a comic book.
Okay, if you're not, if you're toss packaging, that's the packaging I want.
All right, and then of course they have a little blurb on the back about the storyline. Obviously, Punk doesn't know the lore because he always, it
requires reading.
Yeah, he talks like a fool, and he's doing a toy review because he doesn't know the lore, and people call him out on it. Of course, they got the cross sell for the first season of the season 1 of the first 8 figures that they have.
Is that what they're calling it, a season?
Yeah. And they're all numbered. This one is number 6. So really cool packaging, though. I mean, really, really solid packaging. They all come with an individual stand. They all look the same, but like it says Operation Monster Force, of course, you can use as a tombstone, or else you can set it down. And has a little title on there. So really cool stands, they can be used as a display background or whatever. And then I got the main one, Declan Van Helsing.
Oh, Declan. You haven't even opened him yet?
No. The best part about this, the reason I haven't opened him yet is because I wanted to show him off because this is the booty shot Declan Van Helsing version because he got put into the package backwards.
Is that like a known thing or is that just like you got that one?
I just opened it up and all I saw was Declan's booty. I was like, oh, it's booty shot Declan Van Helsing. So, yeah, he's in the package backwards. So I just thought that was funny. So I figured I'd save him till after the show to show that off. But really cool looking figure. If you're looking for good reviews on these first 8 figures, of course, go see a Punk with Toys. He reviewed all 8 figures over the last few days and has them up on his channel. So awesome action figures. And they are definitely ToyLeet worthy and not going into the toilet at all.
Good deal. Okay. Awesome. So let me pull this back in. We didn't do the runner of the ToyLeet toilet because you kind of jumped right into it. Wasn't sure. What's that?
I said we didn't do the toilet, but it's okay.
So nothing's going in the toilet right now.
Nope. Let's see the flush just for the fun of it because we love the flush.
Okay.
God, if you have a weak stomach, you may stop right here. Anybody hungry?
There we go. So nothing hits the toilet. We're not flushing it. It makes the cut. It's going on the shelf. That would be like 4 figures, so we'll have to keep track of that. Basically, I did have a couple questions around those figures.
Sure.
For those that are following. in regards to those, how's the plastic feel in comparison to, let's say, those ones you got from Joe Fest?
So the ones that were translucent, definitely translucent plastic. Now you can tell the difference. And those are still quality figures, but it's translucent plastic. These guys feel, I would say, right on par with like the last couple of Valaverse, like SDS waves. You know, the
really
nice
good,
plastic.
so good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Good
deal. So well worth the
wait. I do like about these
that.
is like the rifles. Like this is the rifle. They're a little bit smaller than the Valaverse weapon, so they fit into their hands and like shoulder a lot better. They're not so small that they look, out of scale. They're just slightly smaller than the Valaverse weapon. So the paint detail on the weapons, as far as like the weathering and the little touches of gunmetal and stuff, is just phenomenal. It's just really good stuff.
Okay.
So yeah. All the joints, I had no
good.
problems moving any of the joints around. The hands and heads pop off. The only thing you got to watch for is because they all have replaceable necks or swappable necks too. When you pull the heads off, a lot of times the necks actually come off with the heads.
Okay.
Then you just got to pop.
But I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
It's a design. It's a design thing, right? So I mean, it's just one of those things, It's
okay. That's not bad. That's cool. But the plastic doesn't feel like those ones that I had you pick up at Joe Fest. I'm trying to think of that the Columbia line there.
Fist. No. These are
quality is definitely superior.
These are on par with Valaverse. The last couple rounds of Joe, they have the better plastic. So
I'm a little envious. I'm gonna be honest. I've been very strongly looking to pull out of the Valaverse and Joe lines, but those Monster Force figures look really good. They look really, really
I'm
good.
not going to be collecting. Well, there's a couple of Valaverse and a couple of Joes that I definitely will be picking up just because I like the characters themselves. But for the most part, they're all going to end up in the Monster Force anyway. So
yeah. So that's kind of your world lore.
Yeah.
Lore. World building type stuff. Cool.
And then outside of that, I have all the barbarians and the knights and everything like you do with the AWOC and the mythic. And
that's where my stuff is at. And I kind of have the plunderlings, plunder strongs, plunder tall, long strongs, whatever they are. I have those just because I love they're like cool little things to have on the desk and just kind of toy around with. Cool. Good deal, man. So I think we can go about 30 minutes in here.
Yeah, let's jump into the chat real quick. We just got a couple of people that popped in, so let's just say hi to them real quick, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
Joe G's in the house. What's up, Joe? And Endless Fable said, yeah, he makes awesome signs. Used one in the photo I posted today. That's awesome. And Fat Tread is here. Says hello to everybody in the chat. And Wraith Mace, yo. Now that's not right, Wraith. What about We Are the Hammer? Come on, man. You're slacking. Hope you're doing good, Wraith. And we'll probably see you sometime this weekend, I'm sure, on the long stream that's going to be happening this weekend.
There's a long stream?
Yep. That's what happens after you spend the weekend with the aliens. Your streams get really long, and you never want to cross them.
Yes, that aligns. That checks out. Yep, it checks out.
We are the hammer.
Yeah. So there's the Punkathon this weekend, right?
Yep.
I think it's what time does it start on Friday night?
I think he's starting Friday at noon.
Okay.
I think it's Friday at noon Eastern time. I know his first guest comes out at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and that's Frostbite G.I. Joe Reviews, or I can't remember his whole name, but he's an Australian fella, and they're gonna do like some Frostbite does these videos on his channel for like the old toy packaging, and like just kind of points out things that are funny, like if a guy in Bermuda shorts is posted, a figure in Bermuda shorts is standing in a winter scene on the packaging, just how funny like the packaging was back in the day. It didn't matter as long as they could fit all the new figures into the most recent packaging. So they just kind of poke fun at that, having some fun and stuff like that. So I believe that's kicking it off on Friday. And then of course, later on at night, there's going to be a 1-2 kick out podcast takeover on there. Saturday morning, Oz and I and a couple others will be doing the Clubhouse Cafe at 6 a.m. Eastern time over there, and then whole thing, and then we'll close it out with the Clubhouse Saturday night.
Good deal. Awesome.
All money that's made, whether it's donated to his private PayPal or super chats, super stickers, memberships, everything is going to get donated to Toys for Tots. And then Sergeant Red's, which is the local toy store that Punk is doing this with, who's kind of putting this event on with Punk, is going to match everything that is donated and Punk earns. So
sweet. Good deal. Cool. Like I know I'll be part of that with the 1-2 kickout. I'm looking forward to it. It's for a great cause. So folks, if you're tuning in, definitely please tune in then. Pop in and out throughout the weekend. There'll be a ton of different hosts enjoying themselves and having some laughs. I'm sure there'll be some bloopers, making some asses out of ourselves at times, I'm sure. And it'll be good for a good cause. So please,
it'll be a good stream. It'll be fun, and people will be bouncing in and out all throughout the stream. He's got coloring with Allison and possibly his daughter doing a stitch coloring and stuff like that. So it'll be a fun stream.
Good stuff. So we'll jump in real quick and cover what our main topic of the week is. It's the evolution of toy packaging from boxes to blisters, and as you know, I like to bust out some keyboards and things like that. And as I like to say this week, bust the rhymes. So here we go.
From boxes to blisters, it's been quite a ride. Toy packaging's evolved and we're here to guide. From cardboard classics to window display, collectors and kids have seen it their way. Blister packs, window boxes, holding tight toy packages, shining in the spotlight. Step into history, see the design. Each toy's package tells a story through time. We're diving in deep to explore the change, how packaging's grown and the impact it's made. Join the fun and subscribe to the show. More toy talk coming, don't let it go. ToyLeet Takeover's here for the store. Tune in, subscribe, and we'll be back for more. Blister packs, window boxes, holding tight toy packages of all that we're here to guide. From cardboard classics to window display, collectors and kids have seen it their way. Blister packs, window boxes, holding tight toy packages, shining in the spotlight. Step into history, see the design. Each toy's package tells a story through time. Toy packages shining in the spotlight. ToyLeet Takeover's here for the score. Tune in, subscribe, and we'll be back for more.
And unmute us over here and find that all out. So we'll dive in. I mean, I think I handled that pretty good. A little different music genre, but I hit it down pretty solid, I think.
Yeah, you did some good rhyming there, man. Did some good rhyming, Plastic Daddy.
Good deal. Oh yeah, Plastic Daddy in the house. I should have cut it out that way too. I should have started it up, open it up with that. So yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit later, and cover into the main topic. But up first, we got another little piece here we like to talk about.
Down by the creek where the water flows, we're shouting out to those who know. Spreading joy, sharing love, ToyLeet fam, you rise above. Shout out from the creek, you're the best. Hype up the heroes who've passed the test. Community stars shining bright, lifting each other, it feels so right.
All right.
Awesome.
So
I'll let you throw it in.
Week's shout out from the crick goes to the man himself, Ostradamus Toys. I know we shouted out Oz months ago, but Oz just passed the 500 mark as far as subs on his YouTube channel goes. So we just wanted to give a shout out and say, Oz, you're doing good, man. The things you do for the community as far as bringing people together and, hosting the clubhouse every Saturday night where people have a open forum and a space to just talk it up with their buddies and talk plastic and all that fun stuff. You're doing good, and congratulations on the landmark, man. I know you'll hit the 1,000 mark soon enough.
Awesome. Oz, big champion in my corner since day one. He's always there to support folks, and he's always looking out for people. So Congratulations, Oz, on getting across that line. I know it's very important to you, and hopefully you continue to grow. And one day we catch up to that 5K guy. I mean 6K, whatever he's calling himself now.
Yeah, 5.613.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and call over here. Ed, if you want to just talk about this and kind of highlight the Toyvember thing for a second for me, if you don't mind.
Toyvember, what's this? I don't know what Toyvember is. Toyvember, that is starting November 1st. So it's going to be a month-long photo contest and just kind of a fun thing to do. We're inspired by like the Inktober, where you get a prompt every day to do a drawing, and we're just decided to do one for action figure pictures. So everybody, there's a link in the description, I believe Travis put in there. So you can go sign up. If you sign up early, you automatically get points. And there's going to be some judges that have a basket of points to give out throughout the whole month. And once those points are gone, the judges don't get to judge anymore. But it's not going to be a lot about, yes, there's going to be some judging on the quality of the picture. So, you don't want to just take a bunch of blurry pictures. But even if you're not a good photographer, it's going to be a lot of it's going to be based on, how closely you follow the prompt. You can do a different setup every single day for the prompt, or you can tell a story throughout the whole month. The ACBA does do a version of this in October too. I can't remember what it's called, Figtober or something like that. So we didn't know about that when we came up with this idea, but now we do. So, but yeah, go on over to the links. The link is also on our Instagram at ToyLeet Takeover. So sign up early, get some early points, and then you can participate every day. You get a point, and you might just win an awesome prize. There's going to be hella dope gift cards. There's going to be some 4 Horsemen Cosmic Legions up for a prize, and some other things that are going to be up for prizes. So more people that enter, the more prizes that will be given out. So yeah, come on over and join the fun. And I don't know where. I hope the aliens didn't come and get him. Like I said, shit.
Oh, no, all good. Okay. Just trying to take care of something, getting pings from the wife and whatnot, and making sure that I passed through what I needed to on a few items and checking them real quick for her to keep her at bay.
Well, tell her when she's sleeping, if she sees a bright light, it's just your friends coming back to get you, not to worry.
Right. So yeah, like Toyvember, like Ed did, he did a great job explaining it. Take part. Keep a lookout. It's only about a week and a half away for it, but make sure you pre-register so you can get your bonus points ahead of time. You want to make sure you get the bonus points, because at the end of the event, the winners that win prizes are going to be those that have been given most points over the course of the challenge, and to get the biggest prizes. And I was scouring through the basement, and I do have some interesting things. There's definitely one of the most recent waves of Cosmic Legions. There's quite a few of those that I'm looking to throw in there. As I was alluded to, the $25 Hella Dope gift card. And there are a number of other items we will be throwing in for the prizes. And it comes just in time for the holidays, right?
Right.
As long as you're in the continental U.S., we'll ship those out. They'll end up in your hands in the beginning of December.
Yes, sir.
Let's dive in
and take a look at the news this week on some independent toys. Want to give a shout out for the little audio cut there from our buddy Realm of Toys. Love his "Let's Dive In" thing every time. I think I said "Let's Dive In" a couple times tonight just because at the top of my head. So a little tweak there. So we're going to dive into.
I got to tell you this, dude. I was driving home from work today, and there was a Target Halloween commercial, and the guy that was talking, there was like a woman talking to, I think he was a pumpkin or something. But I was on the radio, so I couldn't really tell. But I think he was supposed to be a pumpkin. His voice was Frank's, and I just kept waiting for him to say, "Let's dive into Target for Halloween." But
good deal.
I was going to ask Frank if that was actually him doing voiceover for Target.
Hey, maybe that's what he's up to right now.
Yeah.
So going into the weekly news, we got some Animal Warriors: The Kingdom news that just came out. I don't know if you saw these. Did you back the Animal Wars Kingdom?
I didn't back
that
that
or no?
Animals Wars, but
So
I'll be getting some from our boys at Hella Dope when they do release.
Yeah. Did you happen to look at some of the? Do you keep track of these updates on your own?
Yes.
I get the alerts, so I see them. So there's our Mamba, that no sleep till Mamba, and this thing looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
This thing looks awesome, and just look at that piece next to Pale.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how big he was compared to Thane. I was like, holy Jesus.
Dude is monstrous.
Yeah.
Like just a giant. He is going to be, I mean, he's got to be like ogre size, right? In like the Mythic Legion stuff, he's got to be up there, right?
Well, Thane had to be at least if you stood him up straight, at least 8 inches tall, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
This guy's pushing 10 at least.
Yeah, I don't know the scales for Mythic as much as others, but he's got to be bigger. He's got to be
scale
bigger
is
than
like
most...
8 or 9 inches. So I mean, yeah, he's bigger than that. He's probably a little bigger because of the bulk, right? But he's probably about the same height.
Yeah. So I mean, I look at him and I think he's going to be bigger than what's the guy's name? They have him in Cosmic and the Mythics. I have him in Green Cosmic, and I think blue
I know you're talking about
Scourge.
Yeah,
I think it's Scourge. I feel like he's going to be bigger than Scourge just looking at him, like in that comp there.
Yeah,
but you know,
he looks what Pale's only coming up to his chest. So I mean, you know, Pale's like 6.5 inches tall. So
yeah, you know, it's it's a unique size figure, and it was done, you know, at Arlen Pelletier. Arlen, thank you. Arlen Pelletier, you know, is the sculptor of General Mamba. You know, he passed on this one to Jason, and Jason started, you know, doing the printing and painting of it, and kind of shows some shots against the, you know, these figures. You can also see they made some updates and announcements that there's progress on the brawlers and the reptiles. Excuse me, sorry. They made some progress on the brawlers and reptiles. There's tooling, you know, began this, I think this was last week. So they began some of the tooling last week on those. They're continuing to do some resolution of the scaling issues and whatnot. And then, you know, they're getting closer to moving together some of the new shapes and sizes of the AWalk line, which you can see obviously with these images, man. I'm so in awe of how.
If you look at that picture over there on the right, I mean, that's in a guy's hand. I mean, you know, look how big it is compared to that guy's hand. Jesus,
that's what she said. Absolutely, absolutely. And then from there,
let's get brutal.
Don't know if you saw these, Ed, but they got some body updates and some of the production timeline. So they're now, from what I remember, is they're at like version 2.5, 2.6 of the bodies, and they're being sent back to the factory for some additional adjustments. They did begin the first 3 printed figure to be evaluated before mold making begins. Production is expected to start in the spring due to the Christmas, Chinese New Year delays, with the, you know, delivery aimed for summer or fall, which just seems really quick. Seems really, really quick. I'll be extremely interested to see how close to that timeline they actually hit. I'm not against it. Hey, if it happens, it happens. It just seems like a very
they were talking about turning around the first Kickstarter figures fast too. So I mean, maybe they already had some. Maybe they already had some.
That's what I think they're talking about. Yeah, that's what I think they're talking about is those. But I mean, it's just such a fast turnaround. If you remember, they were progressing so quickly on the you know, the original, you know, renders and stuff, and making changes to the chest and making it different, because I wasn't in on it at the beginning. They progressed so far as they moved along that but you know, they were making such changes. I can't imagine they were too far. It just seems like these timelines that they presented on the Kickstarter seem a little the
biggest problem they might run into though is actually factory lineup, right? I mean, that's
what I worry. I worry that they're going to set themselves up for disappointment if they don't deliver in that time frame. And kind of putting those dates out there seem to be a little can't think of the words.
If they run into problems, I mean, maybe they'll be smart and release like the 3 basic figures, you know, and then release more, you know, down the road farther, because I think as long as they release something within the first, within that time frame, people will be okay with it, right?
Yeah.
I'm
We gotta see
definitely
progress
on the werewolf and the monkey dude from them for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see you've got some images here of the gray werewolf figure, that they have in development. There's currently an overlay being created to enhance the head to body flow, so it kind of like smoothly goes.
Yeah.
They hope to continue to progress and show progress at Legion's Con in a few weeks. They also did make an announcement around their backer kit launch. It's a little bit delayed. They want to wait until they have a little bit more updates on the primal bust completed, and then better be able to showcase Athena figures using her body too. They want to also give folks the ability to manage their holiday expenses too.
Yep.
So be interested to see how it progresses. That's brutal. 4 Horsemen. Did you see the big news from them?
No.
Final chance. Last call to get your advance tickets to Legion's Con.
Oh,
it's a couple weeks away.
I did see that. I thought you were talking about something I missed, man.
Yeah, no. Legion's Con just a couple weeks
away. I thought the aliens told you some
Jersey.
Inside news that nobody else had. My God.
I saw that news. I just can't talk about it.
Okay. When's the dragon coming?
Well, that's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing people talk about that. And
that's what the
aliens
really
shocked to not see it. What's that?
I said that's what the alien showed you, isn't it?
I cannot talk. There was one thing I meant to update, but I forgot to bring the news in on it. I'll bring it up when I get to that letter in the alphabet. But yeah, it's just again, they've got record ticket sales this year. I guess they already surpassed previous year's tickets. You can still, or at least at the time when I saw this, you could still purchase tickets over at Legion's Cons while supplies last, and there will still be single day tickets available at the door. But again, that's a at your own risk situation. And then they'll also be a little bit pricier than the pre-sale tickets. So get your tickets if you're planning on going ahead of time. That's all I had from Legions. A couple updates on some Kickstarters here. Monsters. It succeeded. It wrapped up, I think, on the 10th, so about a week or so ago. It wrapped up. It hit its goal. It didn't surpass the goals we had hoped, right? They had a bunch of stretch goals, but they did surpass the initial pledge, and then they got, I think, the 130 and the 140. The 160 stretch goal items like Fish Head and Lisbro will be available as add-ons, Kickstarter exclusives, including 4 clear variants. Will be available, making the last opportunity to get them. So I was a little caught off guard by that, but that's what I was reading on the backer kit progress. So
it's kind of like
a few items there that you still
right? I mean, if they still get,
I guess,
point,
yeah,
it's kind of the same.
I guess the way it was worded, or maybe I misread it and whatnot, but it seemed a little more like, oh yeah, go ahead and get it. Maybe I misread it and this wasn't following it enough. But whereas like the AWOC one was, hey, if we hit these goals, we'll get there. So. It's been 2 weeks since the Kickstarter ended, pretty much. They're encouraging feedback, questions, and suggestions from backers as they continue to navigate the setup and everything. Backer kit is nearly complete, like I said, so go ahead and do that. The team is also working on some shipping challenges, I guess. There's obviously some challenges to that and complexity that goes into that, but it's to be expected with these Kickstarters. So keep your eye out on more news from Monsters. Another Kickstarter here is that 9 to 5 Warriors. The campaign officially funded. They definitely reached their funding goal. So Brandon, he made a recent update, expressing his gratitude and whatnot. They did announce a new character. They did announce the Slice Age, which is a surprise pizza party announced. Slice Age. It's like a 5 1/4 figure, similar to the other ones, representing a defrosted slice from an old office party. New characters now available as add-ons, and you can grab that with a pizza table shield and a pizza cutter weapon. Continue to encourage folks to get out there and support it. They, like I said, they've surpassed the $45,000 goal at $56,000. One of the benefits about this Kickstarter is it's not their first rodeo. We've seen them deliver on a successful Kickstarter previously. So while there is risk, and I don't have any insider information on this other than what the aliens told me, there tends to be just a slightly less risk in my eyes, just as a consumer, with something that has already made it across the finish line. It's just like AWOCs, right? AWOCs came with their waves, the previous ones. Now they're on their their second for these 6-inch figures. So it feels like a little less risk when you get into something like that. So this is a cool one. 40 hours left to go though. So, next 2 days is going to wrap up. So get your order, get your Kickstarter backer, values in and submit those. Then Savage Crucible, which I think might be our last of the news items. They did their a couple updates that I saw on their Kickstarter. Rob Post has a video over on their Savage Crucible stream. He did visit the factory in China to see some of the Wave 2 production and the feet adjustments. An update, there's one of our friends there, Punk, definitely, he reviewed these with his unbiased, views, definitely had some concerns with the feet. He wasn't the only one. That was because of the toe articulation combined with the ankle rocker, something like that. But basically what it all came down to is they decided to move that additional articulation out of the foot. So they've replaced that, and they are sending out replacements. So I think it's supposed to ship to them in November. So I would expect folks to start seeing those shortly thereafter. Some cool videos over on their YouTube channel, though, where you can see some behind the scenes things from the factory. Some really cool stuff. Some stuff that I think Thanos would enjoy too. Thanos Copter, that is. Not the Thanos that's going to snap his finger and everything's going to disappear. The one that's going to snap his finger, and some picture you're not supposed to see is going to appear. They also, for those that didn't follow us last time, they and haven't been following Savage, they have they've announced some additional figures that they've gotten with their licensing, including the Elric figure. And they also have Wave 3 with pre-orders beginning October 11th, so a week and a half ago, and they'll be running until November 8th. And the Wave 3 figures are the Piranoid head pack, the Piranoid line, and kind of that what would it not lore? It'd be like the that race of figures, because they did their Lemurians, they did their humans, and now they're doing the Piranoids. So the Piranoid waves are in pre-order for the next couple weeks. So you go ahead and do that. I did have a picture here of the Rising pack where you can see some of the heads. They've got that Abyss Bible book there from the lore and the comic. Highly recommend reading it if you haven't. It's a really cool read. But that's it for the news this week. There was one other item, and I did forget to put the screenshots up here. So if you guys have been following us, we talk about a number of different toy lines. One of the ones that has yet to kickstart, Ed, you had the pleasure of meeting the folks behind it down at Joe Fest this year, the folks over at Patriot Force. It's been a couple recent reveals. Some figures where the heads are and the faces are covered. You seen those?
I saw one, but I thought I didn't really pay that much attention to it because I thought it was just another picture of the same thing that they've been showing.
Let me see if I can find.
While you're looking at that,
yes,
another line that'll be coming out soon as a Kickstarter should be the Space Zombies from Mars from Arlen Pelletier and his brother.
Okay.
Adam Harley Articulated. Adam is helping work on the Kickstarter and get that ready to go. So hopefully we'll be seeing a Kickstarter launch for them soon.
Yep.
I have no timeline on that, but I know they've been working hard at it. So hopefully it's soon.
Yeah. Yep. No, and that is Adam over there, Highly Articulated from Animal Warriors Kingdom team, and very nested individual in a few different things and doing some cool stuff. So I can't share the screen, but there was two images. One was posted by Patriot Force back about a week ago, and there was another one posted yesterday. And one of them, the first one, is some sort of military operative. And what we will say is that all of these toys are supposed to be based on factual U.S. Military representatives, folks that have served in the military, for the U.S. And the first one they posted about a week ago, stretch goals, guy's got his face blurred out, so you can't see his face exactly. But he's wearing his hat backwards. He's got some headset over his head. Very cool, interesting figure. I have some ideas on who this figure might be. I don't know if it's official yet or when it'll become official, but I'm looking forward to finding out who that figure is. I have some high level of confidence that I think I might know who
So
this
you're
could be.
thinking
I mean,
it's someone
I
that's more famous that is a veteran?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I think they might have got somebody pretty famous for that. I do. I do.
And
And then the one that
if that's possible, they're probably just waiting for the licensing then.
yeah, I mean that's very possible. It's definitely very possible. And then there's also the second one that they posted yesterday. They got it blocked out in their face, and it is another unofficial mock-up. But it's quoted as saying, "If you know, you know." And I'm really curious. This one's got more of like a fatigue, like a much more of like a what do they call it? It's the fatigue when they're in like the wilderness. So I can't think of what it's called.
The woodland camo?
Yeah, it's like the woodland camo, I think. And he's got like a hatchet and like a long barrel sniper type looking gun. Again, I'm not a guns guy, so I don't know. But it'll be interested to see that because the previous ones, they've all announced who they are. But
Sounds like someone that could be
most recent
either
ones.
a Mountain Ops or maybe a Navy SEAL Mountain Ops or 10th Mountain Division, something like that, I'd guess.
Yeah. I was wondering, and I gotta go back and look. There's a gentleman that I met he's a motivational speaker. There was the movie that he was in. They did a movie on him when he served in Iraq or whatever. It kind of makes me think maybe it's one of those guys. I have his book. Lone Survivor, Marcus Luttrell.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one. So I'm wondering if I gotta look
Bradley
at it.
Cooper, right?
Second
Bradley
one.
Cooper was his.
No, I think it was Mark Wahlberg.
Or Mark
Lone
Wahlberg.
Survivor. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, I think, played in it. The second one they announced yesterday kind of makes me think of them, but the woodland camo, I don't know that it necessarily aligns with what I remember from the movie, but again, it might not be accurate. But I met him a couple years back in 2021 at a event with my company, and he was one of the speakers at the event. Really, really interesting story to hear. But the guy from a week ago, I would say I got about 90% confidence if I was to guess on who that is, but I'm going to keep it under wraps and quiet for now.
Well, I know the aliens gave you inside intel anyway, so you just
that's where it came from. Came from the space aliens, and they will be on. They'll be producing their episode of The Simpsons this week, and who knows, maybe you'll hear more about my experience with them. That said, let's go into the next thing here. Is there anything in the chat we need to catch up on real quick?
No, just Endless Fables. I popped it up quick earlier, but he says the feat will be coming wave 2, he believes. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Good deal.
From boxes to blisters, it's been quite a ride. Toy packaging's evolved and we're here to guide. From cardboard classics to window display, collectors and kids have seen it their way. Blister packs, window boxes, holding tight toy packages, shining in the spotlight. Step into history, see the design. Each toys package tells a story through time. We're diving in deep to explore the change, how packaging's grown and the impact it's made. Join the fun and subscribe to the show. More toy talk coming, don't let it go. ToyLeet Takeover's here for the store. Tune in, subscribe, and we'll be back for more. Blister packs, window boxes, holding tight toy packages of all that we're here to guide. From cardboard classics to window display, collectors and kids have seen it their way. Blister packs, window boxes, holding tight toy packages, shining in the spotlight. Step into history, see the design. Each toys package tells a story through time. Toy packages shining in the spotlight. ToyLeet Takeover's here for the score. Tune in, subscribe, and we'll be back for more.
Awesome. Okay.
Good job there, Plastic Daddy.
He knows how to drop them beats.
Yes.
I'm not going to try to replicate the voice though, because it's a little different than what I'm familiar with, and I had to do a little bit of vocal prep for that myself. going into this, it says toy packaging evolution, right? So, welcome to another exciting episode of ToyLeet Takeover, right? Today, we're going to dive into the, aspect of the toy industry that often goes underappreciated and, less focus is often on, and that's toy packaging, right? From humble cardboard boxes to, what I would suggest is like the iconic Blister. We've seen the toy packaging remarkably transform over the decades, right? We'll look at how packaging has evolved, why it matters, and how it impacts collectors and kids alike. And kind of want to just throw this out there to the audience listening is what's your favorite packaging, favorite toy packaging style, and put the comments in the chat as to what your favorite portion is. And then I guess I should ask you, Ed, specifically. I'm audible, right? Sorry, you weren't moving, so I wasn't sure. What is your favorite package style? Because not to age you a bit here, but you got a little bit more time than I do probably with some packaging. So you've probably seen things that I didn't necessarily have firsthand experience at. What is your favorite?
So I was a really big fan of what used to be called the coffin box, which is basically just a box inside of a box, right? You got the lid just slid over top of the tray, and they call it the coffin box. It's basically what most figures back in the 60s and 70s were packaged in because they stood on the shelf. But the thing that really drew me to those, especially for like the G.I. Joe Adventure Team and stuff, was the artwork that they put on the box, because the front of the box showed a really big art picture of the figure doing something, whatever it was supposed to be doing, whether it was a soldier or a superhero or whatever. Mego used them for a while with a window where they had some artwork on the packaging, the cardboard, but the top cover actually had a window so you could see the figure. But they would show like artwork on the sides too of smaller images, but the boxes were big enough that they could do that, But then I really also liked some of the blister cards that came with some of the figures back in the early days when they were really putting, a lot into the artwork of the cards as opposed to just slapping pictures and, make like you look at the WWE one there, Cody Rhodes, right? It's basically just a picture of Cody with the figure, right? If you look at the Ninja Turtle one, that's kind of more in line with the traditional style that I appreciated as a kid, where there was, artwork of the characters doing something or the TV show was based on or whatever, right? So, but I'd say the coffin box is probably my favorite.
Good deal. Yeah.
What about you?
To me, it's hard, right? I love that kind of like, honestly, the ones that I remember the most are these like Ninja Turtle ones you see in the middle. Something like that is what I remember from my childhood, a lot of. But as I've grown, I very much so appreciate the artwork we see on things like even some of the G.I. Joe windowless packaging, some of the Valaverse stuff, even the WWE Elite stuff. That stuff I appreciate. The AWOC stuff, the Savage Crucible stuff's really cool. What you showed with the Monster Force stuff's really cool. So,
yeah.
But I think if I had to say like one, I'd probably go with what you see in the middle of the screen there with the Ninja Turtles looking.
I appreciate being like these figures. This box is awesome, right?
Yeah.
And you can open it up, of course, and see the figure inside. But you can sit this on your shelf, and that's a really cool box just to have sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
As far as like shopping in a store, the big open windows like the Ninja Turtle ones just let you see everything, which was, for a kid, it was just perfect, right? Because you knew exactly all the weapons you were going to get and all the, the different accessories that your figure was going to come with. Because I remember being a kid and going into stores and looking for the G.I. Joes or the Star Wars or the Adventure People that came with the most stuff in the blisters. It was like,
yep.
If it came with the more stuff with the blister, it was just a better deal, right? Because you're getting a guy and a canoe for $3 as opposed to just a guy with a gun for $1.50, right? So it was like, that's how you shopped when you were a kid, right? It's all about visuals.
Absolutely. And the kids being able to see them is a huge thing, right? So that makes total sense. So kind of just moving on, right? The history of packaging, right? So I have a picture here of what I hope to be inappropriate toy packaging. But doing the research, they talk about these tin containers that
Yep.
toys came in back in the early days, right? So, early in the days, toy packaging was really all about protection.
Yep.
It was, simple cardboard boxes or tin containers were designed just to get the toy from store to your home, right? That was
Yeah.
the goal, is to make sure that it didn't get broken, didn't fall apart. It made it to where it was supposed to go. Things have changed though. A shift in time, kind of, as the toy market grew, there's quite a bit of shift in marketing, and
I think a lot of the things though from back in the day, there wasn't so much of a need to show off the figure in the packaging. There was a lot less toys, right? But when you saw a commercial or an advertisement for that figure, it wasn't a digital render. It wasn't, you didn't care as a kid, and that's who did toys back in the day, right? Or had toys back in the day. You didn't really pay attention if there was a little bit of a paint scuff on his cheek, or a paint scuff on his arm, or a missed paint app on his shoulder pad, something like that, right?
For sure.
So the presentation of the figure wasn't as important because most kids knew exactly what they were going to get. So the fact that it was in an enclosed thing, as long as it was complete and not broken when you got it, you were golden. It was, hey, all right.
Yep. No, you're 100% right, and I think that kind of echoes where we're at right now with toys, right? I think that goes why we don't. I mean, there's a number of reasons we can talk more about it. Like, probably even have a show on why we don't see commercials on television anymore of action figures and toys, right? But that's a whole different show in itself. But I think, as you were saying, right, is you have this packaging, and it was really just as, a container to get your, item from point A to point B, but it evolved over time. And, like I said, there was that shift in marketing, and you kind of alluded to it, right? It went from just being the box and the container, didn't have to have open package, didn't need to see the toy, didn't need to see the articulation, the cool color apps, because you saw that on the commercial, you saw that elsewhere.
Yep.
Well, they found an opportunity to, shift to making the packaging not only the container in which the toy is delivered in, but something that was colorful, stood out in a store, was eye-catching, and now, I mean, you got to take a space on a shelf somewhere. So since it's got to take off a space on a shelf somewhere, instead of making a cardboard box, a plain bland cardboard box that just says your name on it, so you got to go fish through and find it, switch it over to something that pops out and stands out amongst the crowd, and that's what they all started to do. So they turned it into a lot of that had to do stationary.
I think a lot of that also changed when there was a shift in the retail space, where toys were fighting over, toy companies were fighting over retail space, and the stores. It was all about making sure, even if you had a small space, your toy still popped, right? It was still attention grabbing. Whereas, a lot of times back in the day, there was, a little small toy section in all the little stores, but most of the time it was, catalogs and things like that you were buying from. So, I mean, there was a lot more mail order back in the day. A lot of people didn't get to go to the stores except at Christmas time to see the toys. Just didn't go.
Yeah, but when that pivoted, and from what I was researching, it seemed to pivot in the 60-ish time frame, where you
late
started
60s.
seeing, we started seeing the G.I. Joe adventure sets, of the 60s. They were, or even the colorful Kenner $6 million man boxes, right?
Yep.
They weren't just holding a toy anymore; they were selling an adventure, and by having all that color and art, it made it much more of an adventure for folks to.
Oh yeah,
and not necessarily an adventure. It made them much more attractive to someone to pick up off the shelf. So that's a big thing, right? So to me, that's kind of how we saw the progression of packaging. The next piece we'll talk about here is kind of along the lines of blisters and windows, right? So this is more the 70s time frame when they introduced the blister pack. It's that clear casing, attaches to cardboard, similar to what you see on the retro wave figures from Joe and Star Wars, but it really is a nod back to this time frame, where the Star Wars Kenner figures were among the first to use that method, really changing the industry forever, because that blister pack, one, it's still in existence to some degree today, with a lot of things, but it was what I remember all the way through 80s, 90s, 2000s.
In the 70s with like the Fisher Price Adventure people, when a lot of the companies started switching to the smaller figures, it opened up a whole thing. Mego did it even with their 8-inch figures. where they had a card like this, right? A standard size card with a smaller blister on it. But then you could also buy like an individual figure that didn't come with anything on a really small blister and a small card. You know, it was just a single. It was, the card itself was not much bigger than the blister, and they would
almost
have
like
those like hanging on like a side cab,
almost like Pez boxes.
Yeah, almost exactly like that. Yep.
Yep. No, absolutely. You know, and these, you know, these blister packs, they became the go-to for lines like the Joes. You know, it still protected the figure, but it, you know, gave the collectors an additional taste for what they were going to get without even having to open the box. You know,
but
and
also,
then,
you know, for the stores, right? It gave with the stores, you went from having to put a bunch of shelves up and stack figures. You could just hang them on a peg, and people could easily flip through the figures and see who was there, as opposed to, you know, trying to reach for the box that's in the back and taking all the boxes down there in front, right? I mean,
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then they went further and they went to the Windows boxes, right? You know, in the 90s and then really beyond, they started adding the additional window boxes where it had more of a premium feel, giving collectors, you know, that clear view of the figure while keeping it safely inside. You know, this is from,
I think, you know, it was probably Toy Biz that started the 90s packaging with the bigger blister taking up almost the whole card, but giving you like a side view and a front view of the entire, you know, offering.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And this really, like, this to me, when I think of those, it leans towards like homie. It's to the NECA and the Hot Toys. It's that higher end collector. Right. So having that ability to see that, you know, is kind of the way I perceive it in the window box. I think of the Target back wall or the Walmart electronics toy line wall when you think of those more windowed boxes. So even really what you just showed tonight for the Monster Force, right? Having that, you know, window box, you know, where you have that. So, you know, that to me kind of, you know, is what I think blisters and windows. I think there's a tremendous benefit for it. I know that, you know, we'll talk a little bit in a couple more slides around some of the transition from an environmental standpoint, a cost-cutting measure, whatever they want to call it. I think it's extremely important to have blisters and windows and figures if you're purchasing at retail. If you're purchasing at retail and you do not have blisters and windows, you are asking for a dissatisfied customer. And the problem is, it's not just going to dissatisfy a customer or consumer. We'll talk more about this as I go, but it's not going to just dissatisfy you for Walmart or Target. It's going to dissatisfy you from Hasbro or Mattel or whatever toy line you got, you know, screwed over on. So to me, anytime you're dealing with that in retail, and it's honestly, it's even gotten to a point where it's gotten worse with even online shopping, Amazon and stuff. I've seen it happen with. So definitely some frustrations.
A lot of the fact too, right? Like Barbies always came in kind of a coffin box. G.I. Joe did, Marks and Mego all did, right? And like, as I said, like as a kid, you didn't give a shit if it had a little bit of a paint smudge, right? Because if you got your Batman figure, you didn't care that the cowl had a little overspray paint on it or whatever the fact was, right? But like when Hasbro shifted to the all packaged plastic or plastic free packaging, there wasn't in-box collectors. It wasn't such a thing back in the day. Some people kept them in the box, but they weren't considered in-box collectors, right?
There might have been, right? But it wasn't so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like a known thing, right? It wasn't.
Right. There wasn't a community of us out there really being able to gather and talk about it like we do today.
And on top of that, most of the figures back in the 70s, 60s, even in the early 80s, some of the toy lines, most of the figures, like the G.I. Joe Adventure Team, right? They all looked the same. They had different color hair that was painted on. Faces are all the same. Barbie was the same way, right? You had a Barbie doll. You might have a different head, but all the heads are, you know, brown hair has a certain head. Barbie with the blonde hair has a certain head. So everybody knew exactly what they were going to get, and everybody just accepted the quality that they were as they were.
Yep.
You weren't looking for, you know, Han Solo with you know, the brown pants instead of the blue pants, or the brown jacket instead of a blue jacket, or Boba Fett with a, you know, a half circle on his hand. You weren't looking for that stuff back in the 60s and 70s. It was a totally different toy market back then.
Agreed. And then the next one here is going to take us into, you know, there's two things, right? There's collectors versus kids. And there's a couple different packaging types there for that, right? There's really, and I use this example from Four Horsemen on Red Death, because when I think of packaging and that premier quality packaging, it's between who creates this one? Who creates this figure there?
Mezco.
Mezco, thank you. I couldn't remember the brand. I always honestly mix up NECA and Mezco. Just because I don't buy many of either of them.
Yeah. I
just mix up what manufacturer each. But like between Mezco and Four Horsemen, they have some of the best, most like collector level packaging. And to me, when you define collector level packaging, to me it's, and this might be because I'm a fan of the Mac, Apple products, but they do it with the Apple box. That box is so tight, you pull it out, it's got that suction and it lets out a smell of air that they must spray, and it just gives you this. It's a premier product. So to me, and even when you're thinking of Mezco, that,
who has premier packaging anyway, most of the time they also offer a lot of times a higher grade packaging for like a special deluxe figure. Like I have one of my Gomez's that the actual box is a metal tin, right? That opens up just like an old lunchbox. I mean, it's, you can't get much better than that outside of the figure obscura, which, those packages are packages along with a backdrop that magnets to the,
well, that's what it is. It's got the magnets in the box that connect it and whatnot. It's got that Apple-esque quality box to it. And, packaging, often serves, two kinds, right? Kids and, who rip it open and play, and, collectors who want to keep it sealed for either display or resale. There's collector friendly package. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? Is this higher end collector packaging, this figure obscura packaging or Mezco or, things like that. Right. I will say that you have the tier down. That's probably what you're looking at with the Monster Force. What I saw with the Savage Crucible, really cool packaging, looks really cool, feels good. It's quality. It's not junk by any sense. It's not just they're mass produced, but they're not the same thing you get at retail, from those generic ones there. But even Mattel's been doing this with some of their more high-end ultimates, like with the Undertaker and the Googly Walker, whatever his name is there. And they've recently done it with the NWO 2-pack and the USO 2-pack. They have this additional combining wrapper, and it's just a premier packaging.
One company we really can't forget to mention right now as far as collector packaging goes. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there doing collector friendly packaging, like Four Horsemen, where they can, Eagle Force is the same way. You could take the figure out, put them right back in the blister, and know the better, right? Because it's just the way the packaging is designed. But like, look at the Jada Toy Street Fighter packaging, right? That looks just like a video arcade. I mean, the packaging is designed like a video arcade. The Jada Toys monsters kind of have like a cereal, their cereal mascots kind of have a cereal box vibe to the packaging. So there's some companies out there really doing some cool things with packaging, where if you left the figure in the package, you could still appreciate that without, really being disheartened by the fact that you didn't take it out of the box.
Absolutely. And you hit that on, right, with the many lines. I'm gonna even go as cheap as Funko, right? They've created these easy to open packaging that can be resealed, right? Funko Pops are very much that way. I would say that the Star Wars Black Series could be considered that way. Even the WWE Elites, right? Like if you take a knife and you cut the seams and you fold it out nicely, you can take what you want out of the box, look at it, and put it back. Even with that, the plastic and everything in there. But again, the artwork on some of these, it's tremendous, right? They put a lot into these. I would almost argue they're probably putting almost as much into the artwork as they are the figure itself oftentimes.
Or what about one of your favorite lines, right? I mean, like these guys.
Yeah.
Comes with the ears that you can stick on the box, so you can have a monster sitting on yourself outside of your just your plunging, right? I mean, the box becomes a display piece in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. For the kids, though, it's about the bright colors. It's the excitement. Packaging design to stand out amongst the other things on the shelf, right? The fact that they see and they want it in a moment. That's why I'll lead into more, the Mattel and the Hasbro in these senses when they're on the shelves. You have your WWE lines, right? Like they're very much so like showing the character like in real life. They're showing real life photos. They're showing the history on the back of the packaging. They're calling out specific moments in time that maybe a WrestleMania you were at, things like that, or a Royal Rumble you were in attendance for, and it calls out those details. The Marvel figures, they do it for the MCU ones. They really try to like make it very aligned with what folks are seeing so they can correlate it. So you're taking and trying to draw the attention of beyond just the plastic addicts like ourselves and trying to grab the attention of someone who may not be deeply nested within this community and this collecting as us, right? So I think it makes a huge impact when they're trying to appeal to those kids, collectors, and those people in between with what effort they put into this. I'll throw this out to the audience. I know there's a couple things going on in the chat there, but I'll say to the community, since I know that we have a wide range of collectors and types of collectors, do you think modern toy packaging is better at catering to both collectors and kids, or do you think you'd be better off doing it the other, splitting it out?
I think that's where Hasbro kind of missed when they went to their plastic-free packaging, right? They were totally ignoring their market and fan base when they went to that. There were so many people that were collecting, especially Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, and keeping it in the box, right? So they had that part of it. And then on top of that, they were in retail. So if you wanted to get a kid's attention, they wanted to see the flashy figure sitting in the package, right? No kid wants to buy a box just because it's got a picture of Wolverine on it. They want to buy Wolverine. They want to see that Wolverine with his claws out in the packaging. And I think Hasbro, it didn't hurt him as bad as everybody said it was going to, but I know it definitely hurt them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have switched back because they totally ignored their market and customer base. And they could say it was for the environment all day long. We all know it was some kind of cost savings they were trying to
absolutely
make.
Absolutely.
And Joe says toy collectors should be kids at heart and enjoy kid-focused packaging. Absolutely, Joe. I agree 100%. I love the color, the splash of colors and everything else. Like when I go to the Walmart now, I mean, I look at like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because that color, the colors and stuff that pop on that packaging is just amazing. I have no interest in the line because I don't collect turtles, but looking at the packaging is just fun.
Yep. Like to me, it's those Ninja Turtles catch me every single time. Like it's a line that I wish I could get into.
Yep. I walk down that toy aisle, the action figure aisle, and at my Walmart, it's the first thing you come to when you around the corner. And that 8 feet is just bright. It draws your attention. I slow down and look at all the turtles. And like I said, I know who the turtles are as far as the main characters go, but I have no interest in the line. But I think the packaging is cool. I think the way they have the figures all colored up is awesome. It just draws your attention right in.
Yep, absolutely. So that's a line that I missed out on, and it's so deep. I wish I could get back to it. The NECA one, and all the specifically the NECA toy line with the the throwback to the 80s, 90s cartoon that I remember. But, speaking specifically about the environment, you hit it on the head, right? Like there's a huge hit that they did. They can talk about, it had to do with the growing concerns over plastic waste, etc. Maybe there was somebody in the headquarters that was like, you know what? I'm going to put my stamp on the company today, and we're going to go plastic free because they have some sort of social concern and they felt this is a great way to do the right thing. Okay, maybe. There wasn't 10 people in the room that looked at that person and said, what the hell are you talking about? Come on. They did not handle that appropriately.
No.
If you wanted to do that, you needed to refocus and go, we're discontinuing the lines you've been collecting. Consider your collection is complete. We're going to shift to new versions. The Joes had only been out and only picking up steam at that point. And you just completely changed it. One of the things that I've hated about the WWE figures for the last 15 years is they constantly are revitalizing the box art and stuff.
Yeah.
And that to me is frustrating. I'm not an inbox collector, but it's kind of weird how much it changes. And I know there are people that are inbox collectors, and I hate how they change it so much.
Yeah.
You want to
change
it's also,
it's not like Star Wars where Star Wars changed, the packaging back on the blister cards, for every movie that came out, right? And New Hope had a certain package, Empire Strikes Back. Then when they got to the prequels, they designed complete different looking cards. And I think it was fine because you could separate each one of those, right? Like this is my, Phantom Menace collection. This is my Attack of the Clones collection. Whereas like the wrestling and the G.I. Joe, you can't put this box that's got, Falcon doing some stupid artwork picture on there next to your window package, right? It just doesn't look the same. And Hasbro keeps changing their package even to this day. They keep trying to standardize it, and they just make a bigger mess.
So I purposely use this screen for this because I think there's 4 examples here of windowless packaging, 3 of which I think completely jacked up the figures and the collector's collectability to them. And there's a 4th one here. And the reason I use this one is because I wanted to talk about that. That's an example. There's one here that is not like the other. And the one that is here that is not like the other is one that you could have gotten away with and could continue to get away with because it is collectible in the way that it is.
Right. And that's the VHS collection, right?
Exactly. It's done as a montage, a throwback to the VHS of the early 90s in these like I remember this stuff. I remember these movie boxes, the dinged up edges. And I remember, I think even at one point there was boxes like this that would come from Burger King and things like that at times for different VHSs over the time. So, there's some chat stuff going on. Oh, gotcha. I totally got lost on there trying to read the chat. But like, as I'm looking at this and I see, one is not like the other, I wanted to point that out because there's the wrong way, which is option 1, 2, and 3, and there's the right way. And just as we've already alluded to, clearly they dropped the ball here on 1, 2, and 3 because those are mainline collectibles. They completely changed and shifted. And when you're putting, these should only be Hasbro Pro. There's a number of things, right? One, all 4 of these should only be Hasbro Pulse purchases, something sent directly from the warehouse of the manufacturer. So we know that you're not getting the hot swaps, what nobody knows about, the brick or the dirty cookie growing mold or whatever else they decided to put in one of these things, right? So there's that aspect. The other piece is that you completely screwed with the consumer that had been collecting these, that enjoyed it. Did some of the box art look cool? I didn't mind what G.I. Joe did with the box art. The problem was they didn't come out of the gate like that, so it looked drastically different than what people have been collecting previously.
There was a lot of good box art on the G.I. Joe packaging. There was many of them that were not so great, but there was a lot of good ones. But like you were saying back at the beginning of this, right? The VHS series was a completely different offshoot, right? It wasn't part of Marvel Legends, even though it was Marvel Legends figures, but it was an offshoot by itself, right? They could have done something like that for all these lines.
It's no different than the retro packaging for Star Wars or the retro packaging for the Joes, right? It's the same thing. It's an alternative collectible style. Like I would have expected those, honestly, like those VHS ones, if FYE was still a thing or Media Play was still a thing, that would have been like a number one, like it would have been an exclusive in those types of stores.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
Don't have to put that in Walmart or Target. You could have done an exclusive VHS X-Men Legends line and they would have sold like crazy out of there because of the throwback nostalgia aspect to it. But the thing is, it's different. It's not great. It's a whole conversation we could have a whole conversation into the failures of this approach for the environmental shifts. That said, there has been some positive things that have come out of this. Lego, for example, moved away or has begun moving away from those large plastic bags that were inside the big boxes to more of a paper-based packaging for those, which I think is great. Hey, that helps, somebody somewhere with something and it doesn't hurt things and doesn't change it, go for it. It's more recyclable. It's better for the environment. It's better for, the kids that are going to grow up in 100 years. Go for it. Doesn't impact me.
Here's my problem with all these stores and companies talking about the environment and what they're doing to save the environment, right? And I know
paper straws wrapped in plastic.
Yes, paper straws wrapped in plastic, right? Or you go to the grocery store to buy an orange, which has its own packaging, and they give you a plastic bag to put the orange in, right? Or a lot of these places, like Walmart in New York, they don't have paper, they don't have plastic bags; they're all paper bags. But I go and buy a plastic jug of milk. I buy a plastic jug of laundry soap. I buy paper plates wrapped in a plastic package. I buy all this stuff that's plastic, and I have to carry it home in a paper bag that falls apart in 2 seconds because
and they're not even the plastic bags from when I was working in the grocery stores.
Exactly what I'm saying.
20-something years ago.
They fall apart in 2 seconds. I buy a box of cereal that's got a big plastic liner inside of it, right? But I can't have a plastic bag to carry it home in. And that's the kind of same thing with these, right? You're wrapping a hunk of plastic with plastic accessories and worried about the thin piece of plastic. Now, yes, the plastic packaging is usually considered garbage. But if you know your market where most of these are collectors, the boxes aren't getting into the landfills. The packaging isn't getting put in landfills. And a lot of us cut the plastic out of there. If we do open it up and save the plastic to use in, dioramas and displays or making windows in dioramas and things like that. So it was a whole mess.
We do as they refer, right? I showed you my box earlier of my pack, my scrap boxing as I refer to it. Scrap boxing as I refer to it. It's we're like I don't know the proper term, so I'm not going to try to use it, but I will say we go from head to tail. We use the whole thing, head to tail.
Yep.
Nothing's wasted. If I get the Ziploc baggies in those things, I have bags of Ziploc baggies.
Oh, I got bags and bags.
I use and divvy it up. And
I mean, these Monster Force figures. Where's my Declan? Let me show you.
The ties that they come in, in there. As long as it's not the punch through ties that you have to cut. I reuse them all the time.
So Declan, all the Monster Force figures come with that gravestone stand. And they all come in a Ziploc baggie by themselves.
Just like the Valaverse ones, right?
But this plastic bag, once you take these out of the package, is perfect for holding all the hands and the little plastic accessories it comes with. I already started doing that with the 3 I opened, and I have the stand out there. This box will get put back together and get stuck in a library looking thing because they all look like books, It's like...
That's cool. That's cool.
But
I
got
the decide to get them because you need space, I'll take them.
I will definitely keep you in mind. Like if I get some doubles of the army builders and stuff for sure.
They could be some cool.
Scrap
boxing items. I have to look over there to think of the term because I invented it tonight. Absolutely. So that that's kind of where we're at with that. Again, though, I just want to point out the future, right? So we talked about the current. They fell back, right? They went back to adding that picture, window boxes, things like that, which made sense. But as the future does change, and we continue to, and hopefully continue to shift to a logical eco-friendly approach. I'm fine with that. I'm all in support of it. But I'm curious.
I love the environment. I mean, I love taking care of the outdoors, right? I mean, that's where I spend as much time as I possibly can. But there's my point is more if the environmental stuff they do now. If it's about the environment for real, I'm all for it. But I know a lot of it is just corporate greed, and that's where the thing comes.
And the big thing from it is in this situation with Hasbro's example. We showed you 4 pictures here, 4 different items here. One of them is not like the other. There's an approach. If you take the time and think through it, you can accomplish what you were trying to do, but you can do it while not completely, dissatisfying leaving the consumer unsatisfied. That said, that wraps us up for the main topic tonight. One item I want to cover in the chat. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, thoughts around packaging, you want to see what Mr. Wonderful, aka Plastic Daddy, ain't no party like a Plastic Daddy party, likes to do when he's scrapboxing, hit me up. I should be scrapboxing in the coming weeks, and I got some cool ideas for my scrapboxing. That said,
I want some of that scrapboxing stuff that we talked about before.
Yeah,
real quick, let's run through the chat because we didn't say hi to Thanos. Thanos Copter's here.
Oh, Thanos.
And the Briscoe stopped in. What's up, Briscoe? And, of course, you got Brick's highlighted. Brick's here.
Brick just said, did I miss the news or was there none? Brick, you missed the elephant in the room, to say the least.
Yes, that's right.
Man, I'm good at this tonight. Scrap boxing, elephant in the room.
Yeah,
yes,
you're nailing it.
We talked, mom. It must be that time with the aliens, dude.
Yeah,
it's got 20 years of advanced knowledge now.
That probe helped, man.
Yeah,
that probe helped. They must have
cleared me
injected
out
something
pretty
up
good,
in there,
if
man.
I do say so.
Yeah. Talk about a colon cleanse, man. Woo! They say there's a lot of benefits to that.
That's what they tell me. I mean, I said, whatever, guys. You guys been around a lot longer than I have.
That's right.
You built the pyramids. You show me how it's done. I mean, no, didn't say that.
I didn't hear nothing.
Okay. That said, want to cover this one more time.
Yeah.
Toyvember. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the ToyLeet Instagram. Look for the Toyvember action figure information. Oh man, Brick, there's more next week. Darn, Brick. Okay, that's gonna be a good thing because I got something I want to talk about after this piece. So, Toyvember action figure photography, 30-day long challenge, month of November. Better than Inktober, better than October, whatever it's supposed to be. Those are all amateur hour compared to Toyvember. This is the action figure photography challenge to be a part of.
This
not only because ToyLeet's running it, not only because Plastic Daddy said so, but also because it's just wonderful. I'm just dropping it. That said, it's an opportunity to challenge yourself every day, reading the prompt, taking a cool picture, telling a story for 30 days if you choose to, or showing us snippets like the Sunday cartoon every day. And doing your own piece that stands alone, but each prompt can be that, and use different lighting, take it outside, take it to work, try to do something different. I don't care, bring it into Photoshop and put up some word bubbles on it, and have it tell a story if you choose to do so. Your creativity is limitless and only limited to you limiting yourself. Be a kid for a couple days. 30 specifically, 31 if you want to get in and pre-register and get the bonus points. You get the points every day. You get a participation points, and trophies are acceptable for the month of November of 2024 because it is 2024, and everybody gets a trophy. So you get 1 point a day for participating, and all your points will be collectively added up at the end of the challenge. And there will be points administered to each person by each judge within the Toyvember. Anyone who is ToyLeetish, I guess, will have some points that they can put on the different posts each day. Up to a certain amount for the month. And at the end of this, we will announce in the beginning of December the winners of the first annual Toyvember contest. Depending on how many people participate will depend on how many winners we give, but we've already named some prizes. $25 gift to our buddies over at Hello Dope Toys. There's also a number of Cosmic Legion figures from the most recently released wave readily available to you. I'm not telling you which ones. I haven't picked and chose which ones I want to keep versus which ones I plan to put towards this. And there's a few other items that I have down there, and some maybe Power Ranger Lightning things that I have sitting around. It's just some things that I want to give away. Take them. Hopefully, make somebody else's day a little bit brighter. And I'm sure there'll be some other items we announce.
And just remember this: there is going to be prizes, but this is all about just having fun, getting people together that might not connect all the time, and really just having a good time with your figures. I mean, it's, so many of us just put them on the shelves, and we don't make the time or take the time to take pictures of them as we should or enjoy them. So this just gives you that opportunity.
I already cleaned up the space. I'm going to be doing my photographer challenge stuff and getting it set. It is going to be indoors. I did talk to a friend who might participate. He says he's going to try some things, not really familiar with technology or cameras, but he's going to give it a shot, see what he can come up with. It'll be fun to see what he does with it.
That's the other good thing about it, right? This is not about being an awesome photographer, right? This is all about just enjoying yourself. And if you follow the prompts, you just might get get some points from the judges that you never know. I mean, we're not going to be judging the photography based on, if you're using the highest grade camera or if you're using your, the camera on your phone. It's all about following the prompts and taking a decent picture that gets the prompt across in your photo.
Exactly. That said, Toyvember, a few days left. I want to say 8 days left to pre-register before November 1st first prompt, which if you are listening I don't have it open. I'll tell you guys next week. Maybe tune in next week, and I'll tell you the first prompt a few days in advance so you can start wrapping your head around it.
Yeah.
That said, next week is going to be ToyLeet Takeover, special guest, Toyvember Talk. And the month of October with Toyvember Talk. Our buddy Ed Axion Figs is doing his part to go celebrate the graduation of one of his finest down in is it Texas?
Yep, San Antonio.
So you'll be heading out that way to send your congratulations to your daughter from the rest of us over here at ToyLeet for her service, and thank her for her sacrifice. We appreciate her doing that. That said, I'm awesome. I could be Mr. Wonderful and Plastic Daddy, but it'd be a really awkward conversation. You want to say something, Ed?
Yes, I just want to remind people to make sure they check out Punk Streamathon for Toys for Tots this weekend. Starts Friday, I believe, noon Eastern or 4 Eastern, somewhere in that area. And it's going to go for 36 plus hours because we'll be closing down his Streamathon with the clubhouse. Whenever we end the clubhouse, early Sunday morning will be the close of his Streamathon. All donations, all super chats, memberships, anything Punk makes over the weekend will be donated for Toys for Tots. Sergeant Red's, which is a toy store up in Michigan, will be matching that. And then all the toys will be purchased at Sergeant Red's, and they will ship it off to Toys for Tots for Christmas so we can make some kids' Christmas brighter.
Absolutely. And I wasn't done about next week. We'll come back to the what's going on this week in a second. I did forget that. We will touch on that. But next week's special guest is Brick Something from Brick Something. And he will be on the show. We will be talking Toyvember. We'll be talking about getting back into action figure photography. We'll be talking maybe some news about AWOC. He said there's AWOC news next week. So maybe I'll let him talk about it since he'll sound way more articulated than I will and probably know better. So, yeah, looking forward to having our buddy Brick over on the show next week. I couldn't think of anyone better, to be honest.
Yes.
He's
Thank you,
an
Brick,
awesome
for
dude.
Taking my place for the day. You have to watch the guy you're working with, but
I just saw his post there. But I'm no ToyLeetist. No, Brick, you're ToyLeet, brother. I don't care what they say. You're ToyLeet. Right. Awesome. So we'll have Brick in next week to chat with us. Maybe he can share some of the this week's Wednesday information next week on Tuesday about the AWOCs and maybe some more Mamba talk. But awesome. So
and if I'm not doing anything in the hotel, I might pop in for a second if I have
awesome
a spare minute, but I won't be on for the whole thing because
good deal.
That's the day my daughter does graduate on Tuesday itself, so I will be.
Oh yeah, you take care of business there, man. Yeah. And between now and then, like you said, we want to talk about the Punk stream. Check that out. Follow us over there. We got that 36-hour stream. There'll be some main event talk. 1-2 Kickout's going to be on for like a couple hours, middle of the night. And let's be honest. I mean, that's the star of the show. I mean, Plastic Daddy.
It's going to be and
Dark Knight
and Ted Darklaw, Punk, and possibly Legend Series. What a cast of characters that's going to be at 1 a.m.
Yeah, talking pro wrestling. So it'll be fun. Maybe hear some stories about some guys I've wrestled. Maybe hear some stories about, current wrestling because we know how much Punk loves Roman in that. But we have that. Ton of other cast of characters on different shows for that 36 hours. Go support a great cause over there at Punk Toys. Otherwise, are you on? Is Punk doing something on Thursday night this week? I know you typically mod over there or see.
He's got a show on Thursday night, but it's not going to be premiere or nothing. It's a pre-recorded because he's going to be resting up to start his long stream. So I believe it's awesome. I can't remember who it is, but it's from one of the fellows across the pond. It's a pre-record show. It'll start at 9 p.m. So if you do visit the show and you're typing in a chat message and you're wondering why Punk's not responding, because Punk's not there. So
awesome. Okay. So you got that. I know you got the 36-hour stream. You'll be in and out of all weekend. Yep. Sunday night, we got the Hella Dope Boys over on Sunday. We'll be popping in there in the chats for sure. Maybe I'll find a way to take it over like you did, Ed. I doubt that'll work, but who knows? I didn't win a contest this time, so it's probably not.
You got to have the ends, man. You got to have the ends.
I guess that's what it is. So until Tuesday next week, we'll stay wonderful.
Stay wonderful.
Hang out now, but remember this. Let your toys breathe. Do this. Toys on the desk, it's the new habitat. ToyLeet Takeover, we're loving that. It's a stack high in the air where it's at. Everywhere's a playground for Mr. Wonderful. In the office, living room, let them breathe. Action takes hit the trail through the mud and under sail. It's the ToyLeet life. Beyond the shelf we prevail. Figures and cents in perfect place. With hacks and snaps, we own the space. From battle seeds to epic quests, our collection's always at its best.